Cool. So yeah, so doing what we say we're going to do, man. This is a topic that I love to talk about. I love to share with people. A lot of times people don't like to hear it because they find out sometimes they're on the other end of the conversation. But following through, doing what we say we're going to do. Very, very, very few people in this country actually follow through and do what they say they're going to do. For example, how many people have you met, especially in the network marketing industry? They get started and say, I'm going to do this, I'm going to kill it, the people that talk the most and plan the most out of their mouth a lot of times, typically that's the only thing that ever happens that comes out of their mouth. They never actually follow through and commit because they don't realize that if it's that simple to speak it, it's not that simple to actually complete it. It's not that simple to actually do it. So at the end of the day, you find out that people really don't back up their word. They really don't back up their commitments. We see that in everything in life. We see that, whether it be in business, whether it be in church, whether it be in school. How many people start school, quit school? They don't follow through. So when you're in network marketing, for example, and you're asking for support from people that you think love you, that think just because they say no, it doesn't mean that they don't love you. Sometimes they're going by your track record. Sometimes they're actually going by the times in your life that you haven't followed through. It might take you actually committing to something. You might not get your family as a customer until a year after being in the business. How many times in your life have you failed and quit and stopped things because they got difficult or they got hard? You got to understand, sometimes we talk about negative people, negative spouses, negative family members, but a lot of times they're not negative, they're realist. Sometimes they're being real with you. Sometimes they know your track record and know the things that you said you were going to do in the past that never did. Did you quit wrestling? Did you quit basketball? Did you quit cheerleading? Did you quit the things that got hard? Oh, the coach told you to do an extra 10 push-ups. You didn't like it, so you stopped. Don't forget, your parents saw those times. Courses in college got difficult. They got hard. You failed a course. And so you just back out of that course and you change your major because you couldn't pass one class. I mean, you got to understand, people have seen these things happen over and over and over and over and over again in our lives. And so I think, when you really put your focus into following through, sometimes when things are hard, people think it's God trying to change the direction. No, that's Him testing you. It's not changing the direction. It's Him giving you a test. So follow through. Do the things that you say you're going to do. Complete the things. The Bible talks, 2 Corinthians, I believe it's 8:11, it talks about, better is finishing a thing than when you start it. And those are the types of things that people have to realize, that never is He going to give you a task and change His mind because it gets hard for you. In fact, I was talking to somebody earlier today, and they were mentioning to me about, he was kind of justifying quitting. He was justifying. He was saying, well, I went to this church for a year and a half, and then things changed, and God told me to go there, and then things changed there, and then He told me to leave, and I said, let me ask you a question. I said, when Jesus said, drop your nets over here, do you think that He would have told them to drop their nets for no result? No. When they dropped their nets, they had an overflow, an abundance of fish. It started to sink the boat because Jesus said, I want you to go here and do this here because there's going to be a result that's going to come out of what I just told you. So I'm going to challenge you that if you get something started, just because something great comes to the left or to the right that sounds better, looks better, doesn't mean it's from God. Sometimes it's a temptation. You're going to see that in your marriage. You're going to see that in business. You're going to see that. There's going to be times you're going to visit a church that you're thinking, oh my gosh, there's 20% that I don't like about my church. So I'm going to go because the church that I just visited, that 20% is good. Well, the 80% that you do like about your church is 80%. Well, you just focused on the 20% that you didn't like. What did you do? You went over here to this other church that had a polished 20%, but you don't realize the back end 80% is not what it is. So you leave because you were enticed by the 20%. I see that all the time in business. I see it every single time. People cannot commit and follow through. So you're calling your family one day saying, hey, will you be my customer, do this? Will you support my business? It's for my family. And then you stand up and tell your mentor, I can't do this. My family won't support me. This company doesn't work. No, it's you that doesn't work. Next thing you know, you're calling your family up, 3 months later because you have another business now. And you're like, hey, that didn't work out, but this is way better. No, this isn't way better. You haven't become better yet yourself. Follow through. Do something. Get a reward. If you're going to go through the punishment, at least get a reward for the punishment you're going to go through. Does that make sense? Following through, you guys, sets you to a percentile that 99% of America will never understand. They will never see. You're going to be the 1%. Following through and doing what you said. There is no skill, no amount of greatness that is required, no special talent that is required to go to the top of any company. What it takes is literally following through, doing the things that most people aren't willing to do each and every day. People talk about pride all the time, and I'm going to end with this. People talk about pride. People talk about people that are successful and how they live a prideful life. You know what? I look at it from two different perspectives. I believe people can reach a certain level of success. I believe that success sometimes is the fastest thing to fall. People hit a certain level of success and then they do become prideful. They think they can stop doing the things that led them to that success in the beginning. I think pride can take over really quickly. But you know what else I see pride? I see pride with people sitting in the back of the room with their arms crossed that say, I don't need to do this, I'm not going to do this, or they're so afraid of people seeing them fail. Their pride has them elevated, so they hit a position, right? They hit a position, so they carry a title, they carry a pin, but people don't know that they're not making a dime because their pride is keeping them from showing people that, hey, despite this pin, I still fail. You know, going to the top of a network marketing company, you will still fail every single day in that company. You will still fail every single day as long as you're in pursuit. And that's the problem, is I think prideful people are the ones that sit back and do nothing and set no goals. The ones that sit on their hands, the ones that don't go after things for their family, acting like, hey, I've already hit this position. You're right, you have, but your spouse is still working. Your kids still can't go to a private school. So pride works both ways. Pride can attack successful people, but I think pride attaches itself to unsuccessful quitters more often than it does anything else. So I just wanted to end with that. Everybody have a great day.